Awesome. All right. Thanks everybody for coming out. It's lovely seeing many faces here. I am thrilled to be out and about, or oot and boot as we say. And it's a good night, good day. It's fall, coldish, but it's nice. My name is Abdella. I am a senior solutions architect at Rangle. Woo. I'm one of the only plants, I promise. Thank you all for joining us. Seriously, this is I think the third API and IPAs, or is it the other way around? APIs and IPAs, that's the way it is. That we've co-hosted at DevCycle. So thank you again, DevCycle, for the awesome space, the great view, lovely people, nice TVs, everything. It's all wonderful. Thank you so much. We have some wonderful speakers here today. And actually, apparently, we have already one great speaker lined up for October. So if you're interested, you should kind of keep your eye out because I'm hearing because my notes are telling me they're going to be great. So trust me, they're going to be awesome. Just come along, follow us. It's good to be doing this again. If this is your first time doing this, it's great. I promise, it's a good experience coming out and networking and getting to know your peers. But before we get started and before I go and any more spiels, let's talk about Rangle, because I legally have to, and myself. So at Rangle, we build world-class front-end digital experiences and empower organizations to build their own, capabilities through partnerships and immersion. Let's be a little bit more loosey-goosey here. We really work really hard with all sorts of people to try to find a way to give them what they need to succeed in this space, this ever-changing, ever-growing, ever-moving space. So, we try to keep loose, we try to keep fast and agile, as much as that word should be in quotes nowadays, we still live by it. Please let us know if you have any questions about that. We have people here who can answer them. But I've been at Rangle for, I think it was 9 years, August something or other. So long time. It's gone through so many twirls and ups and downs, and it's still going on strong. And in fact, I still see people in the audience here who are at Rangle currently and who have been at Rangle in the past. I think I see Bertrand, which is weird. I don't think I've seen him in person for years. It's lovely, and so it's a good experience to kind of network, and this is why I speak about this, because in the 9 years I've worked at Rangle, one of the most powerful and empowering things I've gained from this experience is stuff like this, kind of getting out there and getting chances to interact with everybody else. It kind of removes a lot of barriers, and it lets you see people for human beings and get the chance to kind of connect on deeper levels than just this very superficial, increasingly superficial in some ways, two-dimensional forms that we're kind of getting used to. So it's great. Not to speak ill of people who are here. Do we have any people who are here digitally, remotely? I don't want to make it feel bad. It's great to do that too. But I also really do appreciate kind of literally being in the same room with people again. It's awesome. Spiel over. I'm going to introduce our first speaker, Rohit Deora. Rohit is a front-end engineer at DevCycle. And one of many team members who have worked on DevCycle's newest product launch, EdgeDB. Sounds cool. Edge computing is awesome. In partnership with Macrometa, the DevCycle team launched EdgeDB to enable better feature management and user targeting at the edge. That's such a cool word, edge. So I'll pass it off to Rohit, and hopefully he'll tell me all about the launch and tell me cool things. I want to hear him.
All right, thank you so much. A bit about me. My name's Rohit. I've been at DevCycle or Taplytics for about 3 years now, front-end engineer here, and it's just been really exciting being able to kind of work alongside everybody here and just being able to build a ton of things here. Over the past year, we've launched DevCycle, and it's been really exciting to see how much we've grown our platform and just how much better how many more and more features we've been building out. So a bit about DevCycle that you might not know. We're a feature management platform that makes it easy to manage and release new features and functionality. So we built a variety of SDKs that make it easy to create new experiences targeted towards specific users. You can make A/B tests, you can start experiments, or you can even do quick rollbacks in case one of your releases goes wrong. So a bit about EdgeDB and Edge flags. Edge flags are powered by EdgeDB, which is a low latency data storage system that we built. This is super quick, and all your data is globally replicated at the edge. What this lets you do is just pass in your data once and get the same experiences across just everywhere, across all your users' devices, no matter where they access it from. So you don't have to set up any expensive data pipelines to sync your data across multiple platforms, all your applications, or multiple microservices. An example of this would be you can just set your user data once on the server, and then they'll get the same experiences across mobile, tablet, or desktop. For purposes I'm going to go through a demo of a beer company. So Beer Co. Inc. is a beer company that's found that their customers over 40 are more likely to convert with an in-person experience. They want to come in and maybe sample a few beers, get input from an expert, while customers under 40 would rather just have the beer show up to their door. But Beer Co. Inc. has a super small engineering team, and they still want to be able to deliver a personalized experience and just change their landing page based on who their customer is. So let's take a quick look at their landing page. It's a pretty basic page. Right now, it just lets you offer delivery and lets you just click and place an order. Let's take a quick look at what they can do for DevCycle. So this is the DevCycle dashboard. We've set up a quick feature called interaction preferences, and this contains a variable called landing page experience. This can have 3 different values or variations. It can either have in-person, delivery, or nice try. If we go to the production environment, we've set up a targeting rule. So based on the user's age, they'll be served a different variation. So if they're over 40, they'll be served the in-person variation. If they're under 40 but over 19, they'll be served delivery. And then if they're under 19, they'll be served this nice try variation. So the age is an example of a custom property, which which is powered by EdgeDB. But you can also just use a variety of different user data, things like user ID, email, country, or just create one of your own. So that's really all you need to do to get up and running and get your targeting rules set up. Let's take a quick look at their code. So their website is just a simple React app. All you need to do to get set up is initialize the DevCycle React SDK. So what to do here, it comes with a DevCycle provider, takes in a simple config. So you take in a client key, which is just an API key that you can grab from a dashboard, as well as some user information. Important thing to note here is we're only passing in the user data. Our client doesn't have the user's age available to them. So EdgeDB here is what powers that targeting decision, because that data is stored at the edge and it's not available to the clients. And then you just need to tell the SDK to enable EdgeDB to make that happen. If we go to the main page, you can see that they're using this use variable hook from the SDK and reading in that value of that landing page experience variable we've set up. Using this hook, you also give it a default value of delivery, and that's just in case the user goes offline or there's some issue connecting to the DevCycle server, just so that they're still served a fallback value. So you can see that based on the value of that variable, we're changing a few things on the website. We're changing the image, the heading, the paragraph, the button text, based on whether it's in-person or delivery. So what we saw here was the delivery experience. Now let's just see how easy it is to change that to the in-person experience. So I'm going to use Postman to send a request to our EdgeDB API to basically simulate like somebody updating this data on the server. So if I send this request out, it uses that same APIs, IPAs, user ID that we have. If we send that out, the request goes out. And now if we refresh our page, we'll see an updated user experience. Now remember, like this client has no idea what the user's age actually is. This is actually just stored in the cloud. So this updates like the call to action to ask them to like find a cicerone who's kind of like a sommelier for beer and maybe like book an experience instead of actually like ordering something to their house. And then lastly, like this is also powerful because we have a third variation. So if they're actually underage, you can just block them from your site completely. So if we update that, you get that. And yeah, that's basically it. There's just a quick demo of how you can use EdgeDB in a very simple way to personalize your page experience. So that's kind of it. Any questions?
Yeah, on Postman, how did you identify the user in the browser?
Oh, yeah. So that is based on the user ID that we sent in that. So it's also based on, it shares the same environment key.
Right.
So like you can change the data. All of our environment keys are different based on like whether it's like production or staging or that.
Yeah.
So like EdgeDB, when you're using custom data, kind of acts as like a key value store, and then updates based on that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How do you populate EdgeDB with the data? Like, how do you know the user's age?
So like this request is updating it.
Okay.
So like age is one example where you might set that like after a user logs in. Another example would be like for a beer company, they might update this data to EdgeDB after they've made a purchase and then be like, okay, like maybe for like a loyalty program or this is their favorite beer. So in their like search results, show this thing first, right?
Does
Yep.
it also, based on geolocation, also can that also change? Or?
Like you can use that as a targeting rule, but like I'm not sure exactly where, but we do have like EdgeDB is replicated across multiple locations. So like depending on your targeting rules, you can change based on that. But like in this example, that won't be affected. They'll get the same experiences. Yeah.
How do you handle if somebody inputs the wrong page at first?
I guess like you would have to like enable that in your app to do that. Like we make the API available, so like up to that you could always change it, but like if you just completely lock them out, then you still need some way for them to like be able to re-input that data. Yep.
What is the idea behind the name EdgeDB? You just don't see it. What is the edge?
The edge is because like it's like computing at the edge. It's like a term. So like all of the instead of kind of like cloud computing, like a lot of this data it's super low latency because it's replicated towards like where the request is coming from. So in our examples, like we'll have an EdgeDB like instance in like data centers, like depending on where the request is. So it's just like super fast, super low latency. And then also like because we're dealing with like tiny amounts of custom data, like storage and things like aren't an issue as much. Like it's not for storing like big collections, but we're using it mainly for like key values. Yeah. Yeah.
What did you use anything under the hood? Like did you use a database like abstracted or?
Yeah, so we partnered with Macro Meta. They're kind of like our edge provider for this. kind of like similar to, I know like Cloudflare also has a similar kind of key value pair store. Like that was another option we took a look at.
Yes, could you give more information about EdgeDB? Is it like an interface built on a standalone database system, or is it like itself a database system?
No, so it's like it's something that we built on top of like Macrometa, which is like a provider for this thing. So you can build this upon like Macrometa, like Cloudflare. There's a bunch of providers that kind of provide this. So we didn't build this from the ground up. We just integrated this into like all of our APIs and like our bucketing logic and our SDKs.
You mean HTTP is like somewhere like a middleware layer?
Yeah. All right. I guess that's it then. Thanks for coming.